Hey boys and girls, this is Mr. D, and today we're going to be doing some place value and figuring out which numbers are greater than or less than. Right now, go ahead and get your math book, your math journal. It's lesson 3.9. It's on pages 106 and 107, 106 and 107. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so I can start my lesson here. All right, so here we go. So we got two numbers, 423 and 234. Now, how do we know which number is greater? Okay, greater means greater value. Okay, don't say bigger, don't say larger, because that's talking about size. We're talking about value. So when you're using numbers, use the words greater or lesser. Okay, so out of these numbers, 423, which one is greater? Where do we look at? Okay, I'm going to get my pencil going here, my pen tool. One thing that we can do is look at the place value. Okay, the greatest place value. So right here we got the ones and the tens and the hundreds. And the greatest place value that we have are the hundreds. So let's look at that first. Okay, so right here we have 400s and 200s. And what's the greater number? Yeah, 4. So because 400s is greater than 200s, we know that this is greater, the greater number. And how we write that, 423 is greater than 234. Okay, that's the greater than symbol. If you're going to flip it, you can say 234 is less than, oops, let me do a better job of writing a less than, is less than 423. Okay, so notice how those symbols change. Okay, now if you don't want to use the place values, if you know, there's another way you can do this. Let me erase all my lines here. You can use a number line. Okay, so I'm going to draw a number line here, and then you just kind of place where the numbers would go. So where would 423 go? Well, let's go ahead and put in our some indicators. So here's 0, 100, 200, 300, 400. Okay, and when you're making a number line, try and even them out. Use your math eye and even out your indicator numbers. Okay, so where would 423 fall? Let me pick a different color here for 423. You know what? Let me add a 0 here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so where would 423 fall? You got your 0, 100, 200, 300, 400 right here. 423 is right here. Okay, and where would 234 fall? So we're looking at 200s. So 0, 100, 200, 300. 234 would fall somewhere in between here, and it would be right around there. Not quite halfway. 250 is halfway. It is not there. Okay, so go ahead and label your marks there. And what's a greater number? Well, 423 falls further down the number line. So 423 is a greater number. Okay, let's go to another example here. Okay, Mr. D, in the last page, we were dealing with hundreds. That's easy. But now look at this. They're both in the 200s. So what do we do? Okay, when we were comparing hundreds, that was easy. 400 is greater than 200s. But here they're both in the 200s. So we go to the next place value, which is the tens. So same thing, 4 tens, 7 tens. Okay, what's a greater number? 7's a greater number. So 276 is greater than 248. Okay, and again, same thing, you can use a number line to do this. Go ahead and draw your number line. Okay, now because we're dealing with tens, let's skip count by tens. Okay, I'm going to start at 200 here. Okay, and then here's 210, 220, 230, 240, that's a 4, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, and I'm going to squeeze in a 300 here. Okay, I kind of had to use my math eye and estimate where the numbers would go. But now let's go and see where we would put these other numbers here. So 248. Okay, let's place that first. 240, 210, 220, 230, 240, 248. I know is super close to 250. So I'm going to put my marker right there for 248. Okay, and then 276. If you want to start back at 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280. I know that 276 is not quite as high as 280s. It's close to 280. So I'm going to put my marker there for 276. And then just by looking at the number line, you can see that 276 is the greater number. It's further down the number line. Okay. So let's go to our math pages now. Okay. Let's go just show one page at a time. So right here, luckily, they had set up a number line for us. And all we have to do now is write down what numbers go where they're pointing at. Okay, let's do the first one together. So it looks like we got numbers between 400 all the way up to 600. Okay, so let's go and fill in some numbers here, and let's count the lines in between the hundred. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 lines between 400 and 500. So that tells me that they're skip counting by tens. Okay, so that first line is 410, and look, there's already an indicator arrow there for A, so that's 410. Pretty easy so far, right? We're just counting by tens. Do that all the way down A through H. Okay, A through H. Now, these down here are in the 500s, and all these numbers here in the 400s. So that's a little clue for you. All right, now this next one, you guys, my eyes are pretty weak. I cannot see those lines. It actually hurts my eyes to look at that. But you young ones have really good eyes, so you can probably count these teeny lines. I can see this line right here. It's a longer line, so I can see that right there. Let me go ahead and erase that. So let's see how they're skip counting. There's 200 all the way to 300. Now these longer lines, 200, I think they're counting by tens, and then each of the smaller lines are counting by ones. So you folks with the really good eyes, go ahead and count those ones. I'm going to do I here, letter I, because that's a long line and I can actually see that. So it looks like they're counting by 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yep, it is counting by tens. I just want to double check. So I is 210. Okay. I don't see any other numbers that are pointing to a long line. And since I have horrible eyes, I'm not even going to guess. But you all have really good eyes. So good work on that. Let's go to the next page. All right. Now something very similar, but you're drawing a line from the number to the number line. Okay, instead of us filling it out, they're giving us the numbers, and then we have to find them on the number line. Instead of on the first page, they told us where it is on the number line, and then we had to write down its label. But this one, they gave us a label, and then you have to put those symbols again in the circle. Let's do A together. So 253 or 256. So looking here, it looks like 250, they're counting by ones here. So 253 would go, well, let me get my pen tool going, would go right there. So see how I drew a line? And then 256 goes right here. Ooh, I almost missed it. So what's the greater number? Well, 256 is greater because I'm looking at the number line. So this says 253 is less than 256. Okay, just based on the number line. I'm going to go ahead and erase that line and make it a little straighter. There we go. So that we can see it better. Okay, you want to do one more? Let's do F down here. You know what? Let's not do F because I can't see that. My kids, I'm sorry, my eyes are horrible. You have good eyes though. You can do this. Okay. Um, I'm not going to even attempt to try and look at those lines. Let's just go down to number 3. Really easy. We have to put these numbers from least to greatest. And again, the easiest part is to just look at the hundreds number. Okay, we got 300 here, 600s, and then 500s. Well, that's easy to do. Okay, 356 is first, and then 538, and then the last number, 605. Okay, because I'm looking at the hundreds. Okay, but when you go to C, Mr. D, all these are in 700s. What do I do? Okay, real easy. Then go to the tens. No big deal. Go to the tens. So you got 0. Oh, there's an obvious one. 4, 2 tens, and 6 tens. Okay, use that. Use what you know about your numbers to put those in order from least to greatest. Don't forget to do it nice and dark if you're taking a picture of it. Okay, or you can also, use your stylus and take a screenshot of that and send it to your picture. Send it to your teacher. All right. So kids, go ahead and work on pages 106, 107, comparing and ordering 3-digit numbers. And if you have any questions, make sure you visit your teacher during office hours. Thank you.